26 days ago, 18 brand new, eager players entered the BBH 11 house. This new group of gamers fought for power, control, and ultimately the title of Big Brother Hometown's Season 11 champion. As the days wore on, the numbers wore down as Ryan, Jacob, Ashley, Andrew, Will, Adam, Lee, Chandler, Chris, Crystal, Blake, Davey, Macy, Anthony, and Mark were met with their eviction. Through it all, one alliance has surged beyond the rest, the notorious RBG. Justin, utilizing his savvy, strategic mind with an ever-adapting social game, is primed to take home the title. Dan, this mustached dad, has won competitions, navigated an ever-changing power structure, and made his way to the final three. And Gwen has leveraged her social abilities, won timely comps, and is ready to seize the title. Who will win? Who will lose? It all starts now on the Big Brother Hometown's Season 11 finale. Good evening, everyone, and I am Josh Casalvo. I am your host for the night. I was just so excited about that. I couldn't wait to show you guys all of that. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Big Brother Hometown Season 11 finale. I am your host, Josh Casalvo, and tonight, if you are new here and you have no idea what you're about to see, we have our final three of our 3-week online reality game of Big Brother, and our final three, like you just saw, Dan, Gwen, and Justin are about to battle it out, and one of them is going to leave the night a winner. The first thing you will see is Justin and Gwen. They will compete in part 3 of the final head of household competition. The winner of that will decide who they sit next to against the jury. Then we'll bring in our 9 jury members one at a time to question our final 2 and grill them to ultimately decide who they want to vote for the winner of this season. If you are new to this or haven't been here in a while and you are watching on Facebook tonight, please go to StreamYard.com/Facebook so that we can see your name on the streams. Or we have no Facebook users tonight so far, so everyone is done their job. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do that, and that way we can interact with you throughout the night, and it should be a good time. I would be nothing, though, without some of my hosts that are here. They're not all here, but a couple of them are here, so let's bring on some friends to talk about a little bit, and then we'll get into it. We have Mitchell Stokes and Alex Day. We also not accounted for Abby Baxley, Gray Price, and some other losers that weren't really hosts. So how are you guys feeling tonight?
I'm super excited. Mitchell did not.
I'm not going to say what my immediate thought was. I am absolutely gagged. I am gooped. I am shook at that introduction. I cannot. I thought I was excited, and now I'm just like shaking in anticipation. Yeah. So good job, Josh. You got us on that one.
Yeah, I kept that one a secret from everyone, so I was really excited to drop that on everyone tonight. All right, let's not waste any time. I'm going to send you guys backstage so that I can get our 2 of our final 3 back here to compete in the final HOHs. Gwen and Justin, how are you guys feeling tonight?
Excited.
Yeah, this is great. Super excited. I'm so happy to be here with these 2 amazing players left in the game. We did this together.
Yeah, we were a very well-oiled machine.
Yes, you were. And now it all comes to its epic conclusion, and it's time for part 3 of the final head of household competition. I have suggested that, or told you guys that you guys need a sheet of paper with an A on one side and a B on the other. Are you good at following directions so far? I love when it's a big Sharpie. Oh, that is so helpful and so nice. There are 8 jurors, and we sent them a survey and asked them various questions about their experience, and you are going to have to answer questions about what the jurors said or did not say. Well, really what they said. There are 8 jurors, so there are 8 questions, so whoever gets the most is correct. If we have a tie, we have another trusty stay or fold image tiebreaker, so let's not make it go to that. One of you guys needs to win this. All right? In post, I'll hit the music right here, but right now there is no music, so let's get on with.
I have a question. Yeah. Normally, you hold a question like up against your chest. With A and B, though, are you going to tell us, show us your answer now?
Yeah, if you could just give me a thumbs up that you're ready to reveal, and then we'll.
Yeah, we can do this.
As long as you can hide your answer in some capacity, that's all that matters. Thank you to everyone watching. We have a big audience tonight. Should be fun. So here we go. Question number 1. When asked his favorite competition, Mark said A, face morph, or B, the cup balance? Like this cup balance thing. That's the competition in question. All right, reveal. You both said A, and you are both correct.
I don't think Mark liked the cup balance one. He's a good one.
We love the face morph though.
Question number 2. When asked who was robbed, Chandler said A, Lee, or B, Adam. Let's see them. Both said B, and you're both correct again. 2 for 2. Question number 3. When asked his biggest regret of the game, Blake said A, trusting Dan, or B, voting to evict Justin over Lee. Let's see him. You both said A, and you were both incorrect. His biggest regret was voting Justin out over Lee. Question number 4. When asked who the most trustworthy player in the game was, Macy said A, Justin, or B, Gwen. Or the least trustworthy. I don't know if I said most. Least trustworthy player in the game was A, Justin, B, Gwen. Let's see them. You both said Gwen. You both are correct. When asked his favorite moment in the game, Anthony said A, winning the Jeopardy HOH, or B, surviving the block in round 1. Let's see him. Justin says A, Jeopardy. Gwen says B, surviving the block. The correct answer is A, winning the Jeopardy HOH. Question number 6. When asked what he'd do differently next time, Chris said A, build more relationships, or B, throw every competition. Let's see him. Gwen says A, build more relationships. Justin says B, throw every competition. The correct answer is B, throw every competition. Justin, if you get one more correct, you will win the final head of household. When asked who their number 1 ally was, K-Pow said A, Chandler, or B, Justin.
Got this one.
Let's see it. You both said B. She said Chandler.
What? How? Love you, Kate.
And with that though,
More.
what?
Oh, I love K-pop more.
With that though, it does not matter what this last question is. Justin, you are up 5-3. There's only one question left. If you guys want to see it for fun, when asked who the least trustworthy player in the game was, Davey said, just for fun, take a guess. You both said B. You both would have been wrong. She said Ashley. All right, Justin, congratulations. You are the final head of household. Now, before we move on any further, we're going to bring Dan in here, our other finalists, and we're going to give you each a chance to just give one quick plead your case, and then Justin will make his decision. Gwen, why don't you go first, if that's okay?
Justin, you know that everyone went out of this game saying that neither of us beat Dan in the end. So if you want a chance to win the game, you got to take me.
Justin, you know, we've talked about this pretty extensively. Day 1, it was a final 2, was willing to go all the way. You know that it is going to be easier for you to differentiate your game against me than it will be against Gwen. I appreciate that on the surface level, I have played a very strong game, but you have too. And I think if you want to honor the deal that you made last night, you know where to send your vote. So,
I mean, he made a deal with me too last night. So.
All right, Justin, the floor is yours.
This decision is incredibly difficult for me from a personal standpoint because I think Dan is amazing and I have been slightly tighter with him throughout this game than I have been with Gwen. But I am a gamer and I respect game, and I think I would be regretting the decision if I didn't make the decision I have to make. I think Dan has outpaced himself from me in the minds of jurors. Whether I think that's fair or not, I think he has. So unfortunately, I need to evict Dan.
Justin, you know that if I lose this game, my wife's going to make me shave my mustache.
That's a pretty big tragedy. So, Justin, you might want to rethink that. But
good luck to you both. Differentiate your games. Play hard. Play to win.
For those that don't know, I know Dan knows because I've told him. On just a surface level, Dan has won more competitions in a single season than anyone in the history of Big Brother Hometowns. just by one, eclipsing Kieran with 8. She had 7. Dan, I told you already, you've played a phenomenal game. I think it's no secret that you had a great shot to win this if you were sitting in those final 2 seats. So, but you were in the Abby Baxley spot.
Abby,
and
let's
you're
go.
out in 3rd. I'm going to kick you back to the backstage and let Justin and Gwen begin their quest to get some jury votes, and then we'll move on. So thank you very much, Dan. You can hang out in the backstage if you want. It doesn't matter.
Get after it, guys.
Congratulations, guys. You have gone as far as you can go in this game. You guys know how this works. We're going to start to bring the jury in after your opening statements. This is your chance. The power is still in your hands as much as it's in their hands to convince them that you deserve to win this game. One of you will win. One of you will not. And Gwen, I made you speak first. So just assume that all of the jury is watching. I'm led to believe that most of them are. So I made Gwen go first just now. I'm going to make Justin go first in his opening statement right here. Let's do this. I'm going to even get off screen. Let you have your moment.
All right. Well, first off, I just want to thank everyone for being a part of this experience. This is my very first long-form org, and I did not know what to expect coming into it. I'm also so grateful for both Dan and Gwen and a lot of the other allies that have helped me get here. I could not do this by myself, obviously, and I needed their support. I am here to tell you why I deserve to win this game. It's because I'm the best strategic and social player in this game. Gwen and I may have had similar games on the surface, but the reality is I set myself up to be in a much better end game position than her by leading the charge to create a power alliance around our already existing power alliance. I had the idea for Smiley. I pitched it to Dan on day 9. It was set up to benefit me more than anyone else in this game because I had 2 ride or dies in it outside of RBG. I had K-Pow. She said she was close with Chandler, so who knows? But I had K-Pow and I had Anthony. And in addition, I also felt like I had a shot at loyalty with Mark, so I wanted to keep him around as well. On day 0, this is not a lie, on day 0, I said, I know my final 5. It's me, Dan, Gwen, K-Pow, and Anthony, and I am at the center of both those trios. Now, although I couldn't get to the end with K-Pow, I knew that might be a problem because of our sequester history. We played together. Some people know that we have a friendship. I said, if I cannot get that 5, my next best option, if I can't get there with K-Pow or Anthony, is Mark. That 5 happened, and I only had to win 1 HOH to do it. And the HOH comp I won is the most important comp in this game because it is where everyone is thinking. And I could tell, I knew where people were thinking and what they were thinking about other people because of my social and strategic questions. Also in that comp, I won the award for who is winning this game. 4 out of the other 10 players, who is running this game, 4 out of the other 10 players in the game voted me as running this game. And I didn't win a single HOH the rest of the way, and I'm still here in Final 2 because I set myself up to be in Final 2. Going into the Final 3 HOH, I truly believed Dan was going to take me to the end. I truly believed Gwen was going to take me to the end. And guess what? I didn't need any of them to take me to the end because I won this HOH. I cut Dan, which is the winning move, and I deserve the win.
All right, Gwen, you are up.
Hi, everyone. Hi, jury. Thank you so much to Josh and the rest of production. Shout out to my son, Mitchell. I was 6 years old when he was born. So I am here to argue to you why I deserve to win this game over Justin. A lot of people have said that we have played very similar games, but I think the big difference is that I came into this game, I did not know a single person in this game. Justin came into this game knowing multiple people, specifically from the sequester community. I came into this game, if you watch my intro video, I came into this game not to get pre-jury, not to get jury, not to get second place. I came to win. And you will watch that video and you will see that I said the quote, villains got a bill. And that is how I played my game, and I am here to own that. I was the last blue bus standing. I was the last woman standing. I was the last non-sequester person standing. One big aspect of my game was surrounding myself with other threats and also mitigating my own threat level. I was very careful about what I said, knowing that I am pretty well known in this community for being a big threat. I had to be careful when a couple of specific things, not mentioning that I won my last game. And it came up when we had our Women's Alliance that I could have said, hey, I went to the final 3 with women. That's just gonna prompt the question, well, what happened? How'd you do? I won. I also, another time that I didn't say anything, it was really hard for me because you guys know how big my ego is. When we were talking about merch from games, I have the cutest picture of me wearing a Perception shirt. And I wanted to post it so bad, but I knew that if I posted that, you guys would do your research and see that that was another long form Big Brother game that I won in a unanimous vote. So sometimes not saying things is more important than what you do say. Justin said that he created Smiley. Well, who created the core of that alliance? That was me. I was the one that said, I like Dan, I like Justin. These are the people that I want to work with, the threats that I want to surround myself with so that we can dominate this game. I'm not going to do well in a game if other threats are taken out, because then my threat level is just going to be obvious. Keeping Dan in the game the whole time, that was great for my game. Dan going out, I would have been the next biggest threat and I would have been taken out. Sorry, I just have a couple of notes for myself to remember because I get nervous. I was put up one time in this game, and that was in that first double. Lee had a very interesting strategy in this game. I survived that vote in a 10-1 vote. And after that, if you can argue whether this last round with Justin winning HOH is me being on the block. You can quibble with that. But aside from that, I was never put up on the block again. And Justin offered to be put up on the block multiple times. I'll take risks in a game, but in a Big Brother game, I'm not risking putting myself up on the block or having somebody put myself on the block because pawns go home all the time. RBG ran this game. The key round in this game was definitely Anthony's HOH. Anthony trusted Justin 100%. I had to work my tail off to get Anthony to trust me. Anthony, I'm so sorry I lied to you so much that round, but I had you convinced that I was with you and that I hated Dan and that I would be so mad if I went up on the block, not directly, but by saying, if you put up someone like Justin, like he's gonna be really mad. I would too. And also convincing you that that if you can't take out Dan, you got to take out a goat because that's what the jury's gonna respect. That's 100% not true. But like I said, I'm here to own my game. I was a villain and I'm very proud of it. Yeah, I think that's about it for now. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. I hope you guys aren't too bitter. And please vote for the best woman to win.
Alrighty, we have our first juror. I think we're going to be able to actually go in jury order unless something comes up. Otherwise, I hear some feedback of myself, but now it's gone. Perfect. All right, now we're going to bring in our first juror. I'm going to stay on screen because I like the way the 4 people on screen look. And we're going to bring in Chandler.
Congratulations, y'all. You can both go ahead and unmute if you would like. I've got an individual question for both of you, and then just a quick thing that I want to ask both of you, like the same question. But first of all, Gwen, a lot of people in the jury, because I've been in the jury for quite a while now, so I've gotten to see every person come in and hear what they had to say. A lot of people felt like you should have made a move towards the end of the game to take Justin or Dan out because they were your biggest competition to win. Can you explain to me why you did not do that? I think, was it the final 5 that you won the HOH or final 4 veto? I can't remember. I'm getting it mixed up in my head.
Yeah. So Dan was obviously at that point in the game winning all the competitions or most of the competitions. So first of all, I couldn't take out Dan if I had the chance. He was never on the block. Had he been on the block, there's a good chance I would have wanted to take him out. I would have obviously, I had my 3, Dan and Justin. I would have talked to Justin. We would have talked about, our options at that point. Ultimately, I would have made a decision because whoever wouldn't have been on the block in that case, aside from Justin, they would have wanted to vote Dan out if he was on the block. Having Dan in the game, though, was beneficial for my game. And if I take one of them out, if I take Justin out and Dan were to go through and win all these competitions, why wouldn't they take me out? Right. So me having them in the game, me taking out Justin when I've been so loyal to this 3, I'm not getting to the end unless I went out, which isn't going to happen because Dan is winning all these competitions. So my best path to the end was to keep them both in the game.
Okay. And Justin, a lot of people came into the jury house a little mad at you. So can you I just want to give you a chance to explain why each move that you made was necessary and each lie that you told was necessary for your game, because a lot of people felt like you may have told some lies that weren't necessarily needed to be told to somebody right when they're going to jury.
Okay. From my perspective, I try not to say flat out lies. I'm sure I did. This is the game that we all signed up to play. We all know how to play it. I did always want to go to the end with 2 green bus allies in addition to Dan and Gwen. That was my final 5, and I was going to be positioned to be in the middle of that and let comps decide who was going to win from there. I probably would have been loyal to RBG, but if I had K-Pow and Anthony by my side and they were loyal to me, that group was called 3 Emerald Vault, and it was one of only 2 alliances that I started in this game because the other alliances races I pushed to have started. I didn't start it myself. So I had another final three in this game. And unfortunately, K-Pow got clipped a little bit early, and I tried to build up a final three with Anthony and Mark, but there was a little bit of distrust between the two of them. And I just didn't think there was anything there that was really going to stick as a trio. But in terms of you and Chris, I mean, I lied a little bit, but not a ton. You came to me with a pitch to form a final three when I already had my end game in plan. I'm not going to say no, that would be idiotic, but I also wasn't like overly enthusiastic about it. So I tried to be as honest as I could without giving up my actual end game plans, which I was always working towards that final five of 2 green bus and me, Dan and Gwen. That was it.
All right, thank you. All right, now this is going to be a little interesting. I've seen somebody else do this before, so I am stealing the idea, but I want both of you to close your eyes. And I'm going to read each jury member. Before hearing from them, I want you to raise your hand if you think that you have their vote. Anthony. Blake. Davey. Crispy. K-Pow. Macy. Mark. Dan, and me. All right, you can open up your eyes. I think I got everybody. If not, I apologize to whichever jury member I did not. But congratulations to you both. Good game. I'm telling you right now, my vote is completely up in the air between you two, so fight for it. Josh, you can take me out whenever, or do I need to leave? I don't know.
Thanks, Chandler. Muted.
I love when I'm muted. Chris is here.
Yeah, Chris is here. What's up? All right. Well, Mazel Tov, L'chaim, Medetzo Gomas, congrats, all that jazz. Justin, you almost slipped. You said you were voted the most likely to win. No, that's me, buddy.
Yeah, right.
But, yeah. All right. Anyhow, I digress. So you guys were correct because you both knew I would. If Dan was here, I'm voting Dan. So you knew you had to cut Dan to even stand a chance at a win. Between the two of you, I am at a complete toss-up. So my vote is 100% out in the open. Much like Chandler had a fun thing to do, I also have a fun thing to do because I want to ask you both the same question. But since RGB was the killer trio that ran everything, I don't want the same answer. So I want Gwen first. Do you have headphones in, or how are you getting audio?
My computer.
Could you mute your computer and not listen? Because
Yes.
I don't want you to. I'm going to ask the same question. I want different answers.
Okay,
I'll just
I'll give
read
you
the word.
I'll give you a thumbs up when I'm muted.
Yes, I will give you a thumbs up. Okay, Justin. Week 2. So in the Wayback Machine here, when Dan and Chandler were the co-HOH, and myself and Jacob were on the block. If I wouldn't have won the POV, was I the target week 2?
I don't think so. I told everyone that I was okay losing one Green Bus member early, and it was Jacob. He was the one that I wasn't very connected with. K-Pow was connected with him. Anthony was connected with him. I, on the other hand, was connected with the 4 sequester people, and then Anthony. I wouldn't have voted Anthony out over you. I was okay voting Jacob out over you.
Okay, Gwen.
Now, I don't know how to do that. Should I leave the room and come back?
No,
and
you can stay now because you've already heard the question. Just don't respond to Gwen's answer. That's the only stipulation here. Okay, same question, Gwen. Week 2, when Dan and Chandler were co-HOH, and myself and Jacob were on the block. If I wouldn't have won the POV, was I going home that week?
Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry, was I supposed to unmute?
Yeah.
I was like, I gave the thumbs up, but then it seemed
Yeah,
like
I gave the thumbs up. All right.
sorry,
All
I'm
right,
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, you got me now, though, right? You're back. Okay. All right.
Yes,
So week 2, when Dan and Chandler were the co-HOH and myself and Jacob were on the block, if I wouldn't have won the POV, was I the target?
Let's see who went home that round. It was Jacob that went
Jacob,
home.
Mark was the renom, and Jacob ended up going home. But going into it, was I the target?
Going into it, to be perfectly honest, I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest in this final. I was not in a good spot in the very beginning of this game. I did not recognize that I had to be active on day 0. And so I was voted to lose my vote on day 0. So I knew that regardless of what you guys thought of me after that, that I was not number 1 on Blue Bus. So to be perfectly honest, if it had been you and Jacob up on the block, I would have voted you out. Jacob and I were also paired together in the HOH, and I know he wasn't around very much, but that was my first chance to go on a video call with him, and I really bonded with him there, and I felt that if he had been around more in the game, I would have been able to work with him in the game. I want to give you an honest answer. I'm not going to pander to anybody. If it had been the 2 of you up on the block, obviously I would have discussed it with RBG, and we would have come to the decision that was best for our game. For me, personally, I probably would have voted for you to go if that was what I would have pushed for in our group.
Okay. Well, all right. So that's that. Next part is just overall. I have to pick between someone I barely spoke with and someone who felt the need to give me flashcards to explain things. So I have a very, very difficult decision to make, and the rest of your answers will do that for me. So that's all I got. Bye.
Thank you very much, Chris. Next up is K-Pow.
Hi, friends.
Hello, Kate Brown.
Congratulations to both of you. You know that I adore both of you. I'm getting feedback. So my question is different for the both of you, but sort of similar. So I'll start with Gwen. Gwen, a lot of people in the jury feel like you relied heavily on your social game. So could you give me or give us kind of your biggest strategic move outside of RBG? What you think was your biggest strategic move outside of that?
Let's see. I think that the Dan vote, or not, sorry, the Dan vote. What am I thinking? I got Dan on my mind. Love you, Dan. The Adam vote. Regardless of RBG, I knew that Adam had to go that round, and I did what I had to do to get Adam voted out. Everyone in the game perceived me and Adam as a duo, and him being in the game was not good for my game. If he stayed in the game, people were going to put up the 2 of us on the block together. So I had to do what I had to do to get people to make sure that Adam had the majority of the votes. And I would say is one of my biggest moves. Another one, if you want a second one, was, and I guess this does somewhat include RBG, but using the veto on you and not Justin, that was something that kept me and Justin separated in the game. People were putting me and Justin, or me and Dan together, and putting Dan and Justin together, but never putting me and Justin together. So that never put the 3 of us together. So using the veto on you specifically, not only was kept that a secret, but it also built more trust with you in the game. So that was another big move that I made outside of RBG.
Great, thank you. So then, Justin, a lot of people think that you rested a lot on your strategic ability in the game. So what was one of your moves that was strictly social?
Sure. So I knew that I wanted to keep green bus people in this game as much as possible. That was something that we were given these pre-assigned teams, and that wasn't necessarily going to be my team to the end, but I kind of considered it my secondary team. You know, you and Anthony were absolutely right up there with RBG in my mind coming into Final 5. But beyond that, I needed Mark and Davey to be on my side. We didn't talk a whole lot of game. I tried. I couldn't really get a lot from them. They didn't open up. And same to Chris. I mean, I try a little bit here and there, and he just wasn't giving me much. If I'm trying to have conversations with you and I don't feel like I'm getting anything in return, I don't know where we can go from a game standpoint. But at Final 9, I did really rev it up into high gear with Davey and Mark because I knew that if I had the 2 of them on my side, then I had 8 of the Final 9. The only person I needed to worry about was Blake. So I did create a group chat with Davey and Mark after a couple days each of like talking with them individually and feeling them out. How do we feel about things? Are we okay together? Can I form this 3 of me, Davey, and Mark? Can I get in here somewhere if I needed to? If Smiley fell apart, if RBG fell apart. But the reality is that was in case either Mark or Davey won HOH. I needed them to feel good that I was on their side because I knew that was a possible option. So I used my social skills to try and get in with the remaining green bus people that I wasn't as close with at Final 9.
Great, Thank you both. I have one last question, and I really just want a yes or no answer. Justin, did you know that I was leaving?
I can say I thought you were leaving. I would say probably. It was not 100%. You never know until you know. I thought there was a chance that you were going to go. I didn't know.
Well, thanks to both of you. I love you both, and I really can't wait to talk to you all in like 45 minutes. So good luck.
Thank you very much, Crystal. And next up, we have Davey.
Hi. Okay, so I know that your alliance is called Ruth the Notorious RBG. I want the truth, Bader Ginsburg. Oh my god, I said it wrong. RBG. That's what I meant. I'm gonna start with Gwen. I appreciated your goodbye a lot because you made me feel really good, like as a person, and you didn't just talk game. Like, I think one of the things that's really important to me is journey management and being able to like make people feel good as they're being like, you know, executed out of the game. And so I wanted to say that. And I also appreciated your second hello. Like, not a lot of people know this, but you knew that I spoke Cambodian. And one of the first things you did was send me good morning in Cambodian. I thought that was really, really sweet. So thank you so much. One thing that I'm going to clock you on, though, is you do this thing where you don't talk to people until like absolutely necessary. Like, I feel like whenever I wanted to really make moves and like try to talk to you, it wasn't until maybe like the midnight hour, and then you were like, so are you doing this? And I was like, yes, like I think that I know what you're doing too. And I just felt like I was being led on. So I want you to address that and also answer, what is your read on me as a player?
So the answer to your first question is some of that was intentional, but some of it is that I do live on the West Coast and my work has been busy, and I do, you know, like sometimes there are days that I'm at work until like 7 o'clock my time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern time. So I, you know, especially like toward the tail end of the game, you know, especially, you know, final like 8 on, I really tried to kind of be on a little bit more while I was at work and take calls. But really earlier on in the game, I really was actually like working. And so by the time like I came home and kind of like decompressed, that's when, you know, I kind of had an idea of kind of what I wanted to do and had sent a couple messages throughout the day, but I really didn't get a chance to really talk to people too much until later on in the day when I was off of work. So some of that was out of my control. You as a player, I think that you are a sweetheart. I think that you play a very good social game. I think that you are good at making connections with people and kind of bonding over things. I know that we, you know, had a bond over both being educators, and that's something that I really respect. I wish that we had been able to work even closer in the game, you know, than we did, because I mean, education and just like kind of that field and what I do is something that's very, very important to me. So seeing people in games that go far, ultimately though, I felt that there were other people in the game that I was closer with on a strategic level, even though I was close with you on a personal level.
Okay, thank you. And then Justin, you said that you excelled socially, but I have to disagree, because your jury portion has made me feel like we weren't close at all, and I felt like you were one of the closer people that I was with. Your goodbye message really like rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't want like, you know, a graphic detailing like your move. Like, I'm a very perceptive player. Like, as soon as the Macy thing happened, when nobody was gonna like evict her, I was like, I got it. Like, I'm not in control of this game. And so like you detailing that and spending a lot of time like building social capital with me kind of like makes me confused on where I should vote. And so I need you to change my mind. And I want to know 2 things that you think I value in a finalist.
All right. I think you value passion for the game in a finalist, and that is something that I have. And I think that you value authenticity. And I tried to be authentic with you. I genuinely apologize if, you know, my message wasn't the right, you know, message for you. I was trying to explain, I didn't think I was getting credit for being the player that I was, and I tried to explain that to a lot of people as they left, so that they wouldn't go and not know it. But I think you appreciate someone who's passionate about this game, and I am absolutely passionate about this game. And I think you appreciate someone who is genuine, and I did try to be genuine. I don't think I lied to you necessarily. I don't think I told you the full truth a lot of the time, but I didn't just come out and lie to you. When I told you that you weren't going up on my HOH no matter what happened, that is absolutely true. I knew that it was either going to be Chris going home or probably Chandler going home. Worst case scenario, maybe Blake, but I kind of knew what was going on. So I did try to be super genuine and authentic with you and get to know you. And we talked about Broadway and living in the city. And I might just not be as good at the social portion of this game as Gwen, because she plays a lot of these and she kind of knows how to do it. And this is my first experience, and I'm kind of learning, and I might have struggled with that part of the game. And that's something I need to learn on if I ever want to do these again.
Great. And I do want to say that you did build, I thought, a genuine rapport with me. I don't want to make it seem like I don't value that, because I really do, and I did. And I wish you both the best of luck. I truly don't know who I want to vote for, but I kind of have an inkling of where I should. So thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to both of you.
Thank you very much, Davey.
Thank you. Where do I go now?
Here. Davey, you can just head back over to the chat, and then I'll give you instructions when everyone's done. All right. Next up, the one and only Real Life Stinky.
Hey, first of all, I didn't know we were dressing up, so I threw this on. It looks very bad, and it was like $4. Thank you. Second of all, Josh, I apologize to your family in advance, because I will definitely accidentally curse. So, Gwen, I'm going to start with you, because I haven't really figured out my question for Justin yet. I have it in my brain, but it hasn't been formulated. I'm talking too fast. Hold up. All right, so Gwen, you've played like 800 of these games, so you know better than everybody when to cut somebody that needs to be cut. And I really don't think it was rocket science by like final 10 of this game that Dan and Justin were going to run away with it. So to kind of go back to Chandler's question, you raised your hand for a lot of people. I got to be honest. I don't think you're winning 9-0. But my question is, once you hit a certain point in this game, you start plotting out whose jury votes you think you can get in the end against certain people. So I just want you to go through the 5 people whose jury votes you think you're most likely to get, and just like a brief reason as to why you think you're going to get them.
Okay. Let's see. So I think that I have Davey's vote. I think that it was very, well, first of all, just very clear just now and even before that, he knows that I played of the 3, aspects of the game, social, strategic, and physical, that Justin and I were pretty equal in terms of the strategic and physical portion of the game. But in terms of social skills, I blew him out of the water in terms of that. I think that I have, I think I have K-Pow's vote. I think K-Pow came into this game knowing Justin, being friends with Justin, but I think that she knows that I played a better game. And yes, I burned some people, but I did it when it was necessary. I lied when, one, I knew someone was lying to me, or if I absolutely needed to further myself in the game. I think I have your vote. I think that you are going to respect me as a player of this game in terms of those 3 aspects of the game, and how I was kind of able to come into, as someone that's played some of these games, you're a host as well, coming into this game as someone that is well known to have played many of these games and host a game, there's no way that anyone should have let me get anywhere near the end of this game. So I find that is something that you should respect. I think I should have Dan's vote. I think Dan is very much aware that I had a much more a harder time getting to the end of this game, coming in not knowing anybody, whereas Justin came in with with people that he knew from Sequester, and again that I had a more well-rounded game. And let's see, I think that I'll have Macy's vote. I think that Macy respects the game. I think that she is going to respect a badass woman in this game. And that she is going to be more spurned by Justin in this game than by me.
Cool, thanks. My StreamYard's gonna start lagging pretty soon, so this may be coming through delayed. Justin, I'm gonna be completely honest, and I think I speak for a lot of the jury when I say this. Your goodbye messages were very gross and underhanded. I think that going out of your way to explain how good your game is in a place where the person you eventually sit in the final two with can't defend themselves is a very bad underhanded tactic that I don't like. So I'm going to kind of stop. There's been a lot of pleasant questions. I'm gonna go with a less pleasant question. I need you to tell me 2 reasons why Gwen's game sucks. You don't have to drag her to filth, but just give me 2. They don't have to be in depth. I just want to hear 2 reasons you think Gwen's game sucks.
Sure. She spurned her initial team immediately off the bat, and I know that she wasn't active on day 0, but she didn't care about Blue Bus at all. Adam was ride or die with her, and it took her like 10 seconds to flip on him when I suggested that we flip on him. Number 2 is that she didn't set herself up for endgame success the way that I did, because I had people that wanted to work with me going down to the end, and outside of me and Dan, she didn't have that. And I apologize about the goodbye messages. I misread what those were going to do.
My StreamYard is in fact lagging now, so. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just so delayed now for me because my StreamYard breaks in like 4 seconds. But I appreciate it. I wasn't trying to bring the vibes down. I think you both played really well. You obviously both played better than I ever could have. So people say their mind's not made up. My mind's made up for now, but it could change. So please continue answering the questions because you're both doing very well. And I mean, it could go either way. So that's it, Josh. Kick me out. Kick me to the curb.
See ya.
No, he did a good job. No cursing.
Yeah, he didn't slip up. Our tight ship has slowed down.
I tagged her several times.
She has seen the message. I hope that means she's been watching, but you know, it is possible that Macy has not been watching. We don't know that for sure. So just know that when she comes in, if you need to.
No, she's watching.
Oh, she's been watching. Okay,
Mhm.
great. Then never mind. Don't reiterate anything. If you repeat anything, I'm kicking you out. Just kidding. Here is Macy.
Finally here. I didn't know we were dressing up either, so I just threw on a little something. I might still have the tags on, but that's okay. I really don't know what to say. Can y'all hear me, by the way? Yeah. I'm sitting in my bathroom, not on the toilet because I don't have seating in my house yet, but it's fine. I don't know. I honestly am so conflicted. I've been listening to everybody's things. I was hurt by both of you, but more Gwen than Justin. But I'm trying not to let that sway my jury vote. My biggest issue that I've had in all of this, first of all, I hated both of your goodbye messages. Gwen, you lied in yours. Justin, I don't know what was going on with yours. When you said something how like so bad wanted to be sitting at the end with girls, and you're like, but I'm here with boys. You literally had the option to go further with a girl, but I understand y'all's alliance that was from the beginning, but still, I was like,
can I have a second to clarify that statement that I made? I think that statement was, earlier on in the game that I would have loved to sit at the end with the girls. At that point in the game when I made that message, I did kind of have my path to the end with the boys, but I am all about, if it is something that, if I can, I would like to go to the end with girls. But for me personally, in the game, my path to the end was with Justin and Dan. It just didn't work out. In my last game, I did go to the end with girls. So it's not something that I am opposed to and actively worked against. But I would have loved it. It just wasn't in my game plan.
No, I was just like referencing your goodbye message. But Justin, yours too, I did not like either. I don't know. I didn't like the cards. You've had that feedback so far. But like I said, okay, my biggest issue that I've had with everything, I have gotten no credit for creating the smileys. You've both taken 100% credit of it, but I freaking made the smileys. I know that y'all both might have had some background stuff to do with it, but I made it.
Yeah, you made the chat. That's correct.
You were a huge part of our plans, I think. You were a huge part of my plans for sure.
I really don't know. Well, okay, I guess my question will be who, if y'all both think that you made it, who takes the most credit for it?
I don't say that I made Smiley. I made RBG.
I think I made Smiley. I reached out to Dan at 6 o'clock on day 9. I went back and checked the receipts and everything. You weren't even on the block yet, but Davey told me that you were going on the block, and I wanted you to stay in this game over Adam. And I didn't think that Gwen, Crystal, and Anthony wanted to keep Adam. I had to convince them that keeping you, I didn't think they wanted to keep you over Adam. I had to convince them that keeping you in this game was better because you would be a better, more loyal ally than Adam, who, from my understanding, his hand was in a lot of pots.
I knew that Adam had to go from the round before that. I was hoping in the first double, that Adam would still be on the block and go home because he could not be in the game. I may not have said it explicitly to Justin, but I did not need him in the game. From my perspective, I had my tight core with Justin and Dan. Justin said, hey, let's make this group with the 6, make sure that Macy makes the group, and then if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, then Macy's getting the blame because she's the one that created the group.
That's true. You were on the block, Macy, so you felt like you had nothing. I felt like you had nothing to lose. If I were on the block in your same position, I absolutely would have gone out and created a group chat. I just thought it made sense, the fact that you were on the block, you can create this group. So Dan talked to you about that. And obviously you had to decide to do it. It was your decision to do it. But I'm very happy that you did when Dan was like, hey, I've got 5 people that want to keep you in this game. Why don't we make a tight group that we can run to the end? And we got 5 of the final 6, and no one knew that we were in alliance. Like when we told Mark, he was shocked and amazed. And the way we did it as a group and framed Lee and got Chris to go after Lee as a team effort, that was the pivotal moment in this game for all of us. And I'm super happy that we got 5 of the 6 to the end. I wish K-Pop would have been there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree. And then my last thing, who do y'all think out of your RBG alliance that you were most faithful to, or were you faithful at all? Like, was it just convenience?
Wait, sorry, in RBG?
Mm-hmm.
I was 100% loyal to RBG unless they showed me otherwise that I couldn't trust them. They time and time again showed me that I could trust them.
No, I mean, sorry, I wasn't super clear. Like, were you more, was Justin more your ride or die, or was Dan more your ride or die? If you had a person.
I play these games flexibly. I would say that I had separate relationships with both of them, and there were benefits for me to keep each of them around. One thing that Justin said is I had this final 5 from the very beginning, and this is how it happened. I don't think that's smart because things happen in the game, and you need to adjust your game based on that. So I made sure that I had options. Ultimately, my loyalties were to Justin and Dan. Down the stretch, I knew that Dan was a big threat to win this game, and I knew that if I had to take one of them out, that it would be Dan, and so I was more loyal to Justin at that point. But I just lost my train of thought. I'm so nervous. Sorry, what was the question again? Can you repeat the question? So I can get back on track.
Just if you had more loyalty to Dan or Justin.
Oh, so I would say that I was equally loyal to both of them. It really would have depended on kind of where things went in the game when it came down to it closer to the end. Like I've had confessionals where I've said, I got to figure out a way to get Dan out of this game, or I got to figure out a way to get Justin out of this game. But ultimately, the way that things worked out, my path to the end was being loyal to both of them, and so I was flexible about that.
I have a super quick answer to that question too. My answer is Dan, 100%. He knows it. If anyone in this jury really feels bitter right now, it should probably be Dan, but I just think he outpaced me in the end. But when we talked first and said, hey, we got a 2. It's called Alt J, which is the name of a band. That was our 2 until the end. We added Gwen as the 3rd because we needed a blue bus representative. Gwen has been on record as saying she didn't view us as being like red, blue, green off the bat. It kind of came to her later. She would have worked with us either way. For me, and I believe for Dan, it was very purposeful. He and I were connected as a 2, and we needed someone from Blue Bus. We both wanted someone that was not connected to Sequester and was experienced at orgs and was social and good. And Gwen hit all those check marks. By day 0, we both knew, Dan and I, that Gwen was going to be in a trio.
So that's kind of funny because
I'm not done. Sorry. I think Gwen knew that as well. I think we all kind of independently came to the conclusion. Sorry, Gwen.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But I will say that earlier today when we were on a call with me and Justin and Dan, Justin straight up said that I was the one that created RBG. So that kind of goes a little bit against what you said earlier today.
You did create the group chat, as Macy created the group chat for Smiley. Yes.
That's not what you said before. You said it was my idea.
okay, one last thing, Justin. I heard, Gwen said something about it earlier, but what was your promise to both of them last night, or what was your deal?
Dan and I have had a final two forever. So he reiterated that. Like he said, hey, if I win, you know I'm taking you. I hope you know that. And I said, as honestly as I could, I was like, you have been my final two. I have been leaning towards taking you. That is still my plan. Although I knew in the back of my head, based on what I'd heard from Anthony and Mark and Crispy when he went out, I knew that if I didn't cut Dan, I didn't have a chance in this game. So Dan expected me to take him in this game because we talked about it for a long, long time. Gwen and I have not talked final two until very, very recently. And at that point, Dan had probably, in my mind, the highest win probability of the three of us. And I think we both knew that if we got to the end, we had to take each other. So me and Gwen's final two was a pretty recent thing.
All right. Well, thank you both.
Oh, thanks, Macy. Bye, girl. All right. Here he is. Hi, Anthony.
Hey, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Y'all look great. Congratulations. I'm having a little deja vu from the call that we had right before y'all broke the news that I kind of felt was coming. And I do appreciate that. For some of you that don't know, they called me because they knew I had a very busy afternoon to let me know that I wasn't going to be kept going into Final Four. I want to say I'm glad you also took my advice. And I told you that, you know, it was dangerous taking Dan. So I'm proud of you all for, I guess, adhering to that. I do want to ask you, and I guess I'll start with Gwen, ladies first. I want to know a point in the game where you felt like most vulnerable or most in trouble, and what did you do to get out of that? It could have been for you or someone that you were close with that you were worried about. So Gwen, I'll give you the first shot. What point were you most vulnerable or in trouble for your game, and how did you maneuver that?
Well, I would say that there were 2 points I was most vulnerable. One of them I will touch on briefly, and because it's not as important, and that is the very beginning of the game. As I've said, you know, I didn't know I had to be active on day 0, so I was at the bottom of my original bus. So I had to work overtime when we went into the house and build relationships with people from other buses. And clearly that worked out because I was in pretty much everyone's plans at that point. The second time was during your HOH. You said it yourself that you didn't do the best thing strategically for your game at that point. I knew that it could not be me up against Justin or Dan on the block because there was a chance that I would go home. So I will fully own that I lied my ass off to you all day long. It's kind of funny because I was in my office and we have this funny joke where like Gwen's a bad liar because there was this one time we had a surprise party for someone and I was like, hey, let's come in and do this, you know, and like they're like, Gwen, you're so bad at lying. So one of my coworkers was there. I don't know if you remember seeing her in the background of that call that we had. And when I got off the call, I turned to her and I was like, yeah, that was all complete bullshit. She's like, oh, maybe Gwen is a good liar. But yeah, that was.
I do remember that moment though.
Yeah. But I would say that that was probably the point that I put the most work in, having to really think about how I was going to make sure that it wasn't 2 of us up on the block. At that point, I knew my path to the end was with Dan and Justin. I knew that you were lying to me. I knew I came on that call. First thing I said, well, one of the first things I said was, I'm so glad that I'm the first person that you called to talk about this, knowing full well you had just gotten off a call with Justin. And then bullshitting you about hitting Dan. Bullshitting you about who's best to take out this round, bullshitting you about saying, you know, if you put up Justin on the block, he's gonna be really mad. I know I would if you put me up on the block, those kinds of things. So that was when my back was really up against the wall and I really had to protect myself and Dan at that point. Dan was never going home at that point, but I really had to make sure to protect our 3, make sure it wasn't 2 of our 3 up on the block at the same time because one of us would have had to go home if it was 2 of us. We ended up ending the week with none of the 3 of us on the block, which was pretty cool. And I would attribute a lot of that to me being able to talk to you and lie to you, which I apologize for, but love you.
I totally understand. I totally get it. No hard feelings to gain. How about Justin? Justin, how do you feel? I'll reiterate. What point did you feel your game in general was most in danger, and how did you maneuver that?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's a no-brainer. It was when I was on the block by Crispy. He and I, we talked a little bit, but we just didn't ever really scratch the surface and talk game. So I think it was clear to both of us that we were not necessarily on the same side, even if we didn't know what players were where. So I felt vulnerable when he put me up against K-Pow. I'm very thankful that Gwen won veto and decided that she was going to use it. She may have already decided that she was going to use it on K-Pow. In RBG, I was the first person to say, hey, Gwen, use it on K-Pow. Don't use it on me. I'm going to put myself out there and be vulnerable. And if I go home here, I get it. I'm going to put my trust in RBG and trust that Gwen and Dan and the other connections that I have will do enough to keep me safe no matter who the renom is. Hopefully it's Lee. If you hadn't gone to bat with Chris and convinced him to backdoor Lee, you were not the only person to do it, but if you hadn't done it, if Mark hadn't done it, if Gwen hadn't done it, I don't think that Chris would have backdoored Lee. And he probably would have backdoored someone else that maybe I would have gone home next to. So I was 100% vulnerable there. But at the same time, I was willing to roll the dice and say, I'm putting myself out here. I want to create separation. If I stay in this game, I want to create separation from Gwen. So please use the veto on K-Pow. I'm going to say that I hope Lee goes up and goes home. And the plan worked perfectly. And that's, it wasn't always smooth, but it worked. And that's the bottom line.
That's great, guys. Congratulations again. I'm very proud of you all. I'm appreciative that I could have been a part of the journey with you all, and you were a part of my journey. So good luck, and I look forward to hanging out with y'all later.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Next up, we have Mark.
Hey guys, first off, congratulations. I'm very proud of you guys for both being here. I mean, you guys at certain points in the game were my number ones in the game, and you both actually do know that, Justin. Let you know, Justin, you did create that group chat with me and Davey incredibly early, like day 2. And I'm just letting you know that because you did not say that earlier, and I don't diminish what the social can do. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say there, and yes, both you guys have very different tactics with your exit videos for me going out. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna ask.
Mark, you're gonna get me fired.
I'm sorry. I will censor myself. Whatever. Okay. I'm sorry to Josh's church and anyone that's watching. All right. So I have a few small questions. What is one move that you made that the other person cannot claim? Because you guys have very similar intertwined games as someone that was playing with you guys a lot. What was a move that you guys did that the other one cannot claim at all? Whoever wants to go first.
Taking out Macy over you. Dan and Justin were split. Dan wanted Macy to stay. Justin wanted you to stay. I had no doubt in my mind that you were staying and that I was going to vote for you to stay, but I had to kind of pretend that I was kind of wavering back and forth. Ultimately, it was my vote that had you stay. I knew that you were going to be more, at that point, Macy, I love you, but I know that you were going to be more loyal to me at that point than Macy was. I know Macy was more loyal to Dan at that point. And with Dan being such a strategic powerhouse, not strategic powerhouse, a comp powerhouse, strategic powerhouse is me, sorry. But I knew that it was better for my game to keep you in the game, and that was my decision. It came down to my vote.
True.
It did. I have two really quickly. I've already covered why I created Smiley and why it was best for me above all of the players. I'm not going to go in depth there, but creating Smiley is the big one that Gwen was a passenger on, but not a driver on. The other one is evicting Dan. Everyone says, hey, you need to get Dan out of this game. Hey, you need to get Dan out of this game. Guess what? Tonight, I did it. Gwen would have done it if she had won. I won the HOH, and I did it, and that's a winning move. And for people who are on the fence and we're going to vote for Dan, maybe vote for the guy that got him out.
No, I actually brought this up last night in the jury roundtable. So I understand. And that's the thing that I talked to you guys both a lot in that last week when I kept going up on the block. Another question for you, Gwen. I was told about Smiley when it ended a lot. I just want to know how many times you think I was told about Smiley.
I knew that you knew about it, but I didn't say anything because I already knew that you knew about it.
But how many people do you think told me about Smiley?
I would say probably. I know Dan told you. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't doubt that Anthony had told you about it at some point. So at least them, possibly one other person. You're pretty close to Justin, so it's possible that I don't know if he straight up would have come to you and said it, but I think that there were probably 2 or 3 people that had told you about it. But by the time that I debated whether I'm going to say something to Mark about it, to you about it, but at that point it's just going to look fake. because it's going to look like.
I was getting tired of pretending of learning about it, honestly, at that point.
Yeah, and so I wasn't.
Three times an hour and a half, and then your whole thing of with the drama.
I knew that you knew about it, and it's just like you said, it's gonna look fake if I come to you and tell you about it. So I just didn't say anything knowing that you knew about it.
That's cool. And one last question, just because I'm very curious about this, since this is a Big Brother situation, and I am a big old nerd. What would your BB Comics comic book character be?
Ooh, probably the Queen, because I am the Queen.
I'll be the newsie. I got my newspaper ready.
I saw the uniform. I'm like, great. The guy gets me out fourth twice. Yeah. All right. Best of luck, guys. It was fun playing with you and fun meeting you and all that stuff. All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, we got it. I'm staying on for this.
Oh my God. Dan, how are we supposed to have our
I didn't want to do it, but you guys made me.
Start. No, you give him the win.
I feel like this is a personal attack against me, Dan, because like the very first thing I said to you was that we both have great mustaches.
And so that actually brings me to my first question. This game is a question. This is a game of 1,000 cuts. For me, one of my first game moves was I wanted to grow a mustache so that people would talk to me. When you talk to me, I want to know what were some of your small moves. What were the small little things that you did that got you this far? And I have a few different questions, so they're all going to count. I'm going to keep
on this one because I've gone.
Yeah, sure. I put myself out in a vulnerable position multiple times, and I don't think a lot of people knew it. You know, Dan, your relationship, I've already said you were within RBG, my ride or die, and if you feel bitter against me, I don't blame you whatsoever, and if you vote against me, I no hard feelings. When you got the veto, and me and another ride or die, K-Power, were on the block, you know, I could have pushed super hard for you to use it, but I just knew that that wasn't going to ever work, so I didn't try and sketch you out by like saying, please use it on me, please, or if not me, please use it on K-Pow. I was like, Dan, I get it. It's probably best for your game if you keep them the same and lead a charge to get out PayPal because she's super close to me. So that's a really small move that I don't think a lot of people knew about, but that's the second time when two members of my rock solid ride or die trio, Gwen and Dan, won POV, and I was okay with them not using the veto on me. And then at Final Four, I once again volunteered to go on the block. And Gwen, I know you say that that's risky and maybe dumb, but that's how I'm going to play this game because I am loyal to the people I'm loyal to. And if you burn me, I'm going to go out saying, okay, that's my fault. I trusted them and I got burned. But you didn't burn me, and I'm still here, and I'm thankful for it.
Awesome. Thank you. Gwen?
I think that the small moves, in my opinion, are more what you don't say and what you don't do intentionally. You guys can both attest as being part of RBG that I was a lot of times the voice of reason and the voice of timing for things and saying like, hey, this is not necessarily like, this is something that we need to talk to this person about, but we need to do it after the noms are made, or we definitely need to do it before we get the veto results so that this, you know, yada, yada happens. So kind of being those kind of subtle differences, even just in like the timing of things is really important. And I was a big part of that within our group. I think that me talking about duplicity, I know it seems kind of weird, but that was a strategy for me because I was going to be a big threat no matter what. People know that I'm in this community, and you focusing on, oh, I'm the host of duplicity is going to take attention off the fact that I am known as a big threat in this game. I've kind of touched on these things already, but making sure, you know, Dan, you were the only one that knows that I won my last game that I was in, as far as I know. I don't think you told anybody else. But being very careful not to mention that game because people, that just leads to questions about it. How did you do? What was the vote? Yada, yada. Pulling in reeling in my ego, like I said with the thing with the perception shirt, that I will send it to you guys after this game. It is the literal cutest picture of me. Dan and Justin have both seen it. I sent it to my production chat. I was like, it's so hard for me not to send this right now. But I knew that that would lead to questions and that would lead to people doing their research and seeing my track record in games. So making sure not to do that, making sure to, and then just planting little seeds about, you know, with Blake's HOH saying, his second HOH, saying that it was fine with me if Justin went up on the block. Because I'm not close with Justin. I don't know what you're talking about. And that protected us as a trio as well, because that was something that Blake, if I hadn't thrown Justin's name out, he might have put like, oh, Gwen, Dan, and Justin are all, you know, working together and protecting each other.
Awesome.
I will stop talking.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of questions, so I think I heard you guys' response on that one. My next question is, so having won a lot of competitions, I was in a position where I had to kill a lot of my darlings. That's like a popular phrase, kill your darlings. Who is someone you killed? Because, I mean, hey, Davey and Mark are two of my closest people outside of this game, and I appreciate there are other outside connections, but I had to put them up time and time again. Who did you kill in this game? Gwen, if you wouldn't mind going first.
You go first, Gwen.
Okay. So on a level of me being a woman and wanting women to excel in this game, cutting the other two women that were in the jury portion of this game was hard for me on that level. I would say that, and I'm very much aware that this person is not on the jury, and it's probably, but I'm just going to be honest, because that's how I've been honest. And cutting Adam, because Adam was someone that I was very, very close to on a personal level. I knew that he was going to be personally hurt, and that was someone that I had to cut, and that was awful. That was really, really hard for me on a personal level. But every cut has been hard because I've connected with everyone. I'm excited to get to talk to everyone after this game, though.
For me, I have two main answers. The first one and the hardest one for me was you, Dan. It happened tonight, but I just felt like my hands were tied from a game perspective only. I could have gotten to the end with you, and I think I probably would have lost. And I think a lot of the jury members are going to tell me that after this game is over. The other one was Chandler. Chandler had been trying to work with me and K-Pow in a final three, but I think Chandler was also with Chris and Davey. I know Chandler was with Lee in Reckless Ops, and I really didn't know where Chandler's head was at, and I didn't trust him. And I also found out later that he was trying to get me out before I was trying to get him out, so I don't feel too bad about it. But Chandler and you.
Awesome. Gwen, your comment, I think I actually have the answer based on what you've said thus far, but I think it's still a question worth asking. So in this game, there were 2 persons of color. There were 4 women. Justin, can you talk to me about how your privilege played a part in this game and how it got to you to this point?
Oh, absolutely. I think, my privilege of being kind of in the majority off the start, of not standing out, and also having some sequester connections absolutely helped me in the first couple of rounds. When Lee was HOH, Lee was probably not someone that I was going to be working with long-term in this game, and I think he'd say the same, but I didn't feel in jeopardy in that first HOH. That actually got me into this big power alliance that Lee created, which was, 5 white guys and 1 white girl, K-Pow, and we were Reckless Ops, and we ran the first few rounds of the game while building this little side trio. So, I didn't stand out, and in fact, I probably blended in better than most people because of my sequester connections, and I am fully aware of it.
So, sorry, the privilege I'm talking about is not sequester related. It's not org related, because I appreciate that, Gwen, you've had an illustrious org career, and Justin, you are in. I'm more talking about your whiteness. Just like, how did that help you?
Yeah, I think it helped me again blend in and not stand out as a name that people talked about a lot early, and not the people who stood out because of their color or their gender and were in the minority immediately got lumped together into some groups. I know several people were all about, oh, the girls have an alliance, just because there were a small amount of them, and I think that probably damaged their game and prevented them from being able to have any kind of real alliance, because other people were spreading rumors that they were in an alliance. So I didn't have to deal with that, and that played a role in getting me far.
Understood. Gwen, I don't need a response, but I would love to offer you the opportunity, if you have anything to comment on as it relates to privilege in this game.
I think,
and if not, that's okay too.
I mean, I think I've addressed a lot of it. I mean, being in the majority in terms of ethnicity, I think that definitely, we all have unconscious biases in this game. I try really hard not to let those affect my gameplay. Obviously, Adam was a person of color in this game, and I was very close to him. Ultimately, him being cut was a game move for me, not because of, him being a color. I think that me being a woman in the game was definitely something that was an obstacle for me to overcome. Us being, the minority, there were only 4 women. Ashley went out relatively early. There was a big target on our back, and I was the last woman standing.
Awesome. Another question I have is, so this is a question that kind of reflects my gameplay. I threw a lot of competitions in this game. I would love to hear, did you throw any competitions? If so, which ones and why? like strategically why to do that. And if you didn't, that's okay too. I just want to understand why you competed for everyone. And I think, Justin, if you wouldn't mind going first.
Sure. So the answer for me is not which ones I didn't throw, but which ones I tried to win, because I tried to throw most competitions because I didn't think that I was in jeopardy. I did try to win veto whenever I was on the block. That's for sure. So that's 3 competitions I tried to win and came up a little bit short. I tried to win the HOH that I won tonight. I tried to win the HOH that I won when I won it, Touchy Subjects. And I tried to win the HOH, the memory word thing, where we both got 20 and you did it 3 seconds faster, and I was super pissed because that was a double. I also tried to win the other double HOH, the counting, and I think I was like 13 seconds, 17 seconds away. So I tried to win a few HOHs here and there and a few vetoes when needed, but for the most part, my BB icon legend that I try to play like is Dr. Will. I'm not gonna say that I threw every single comp like he did, but I did throw the majority of them.
Great.
I wouldn't say that I necessarily threw competitions because I'm not afraid to have power in this game. I told people the very first HOH, the people that were kind of in the end, I was the last person to make a decision, and I straight up said I'm not afraid to have this first HOH and make a move, or not make a move, but kind of like have that power. I was never afraid to have power, but I also was not going to go out of my way to win a lot of the competition. It was kind of, if I win, great. If I don't, then I feel comfortable enough that I don't need to win this. So down the stretch, I definitely tried in a lot of those, in a lot of the challenges, but I wasn't actively trying to win challenges, especially the first half. But if I had won it, then I would have, taken the reins and run with it.
Awesome. And sorry, I meant to have an ending point on the last question, is that if you were watching this game and you know someone who is of a diverse background or is a woman, encourage them to apply. This is a lot of fun. Like, make it happen. We all as players learn so much by learning from other players. So it's just important that if you're seeing this, share it with a friend. So my next question, this is not a real question, but I do want to know, we are a few days away from an election. What is your voting plan?
Voting for Joe Biden.
No, I don't want to know who you're voting for. How are you doing it? And or have you done it?
I have my vote mailed to me, and then I take it into the polling place and drop it off on the day of.
On the day of, okay.
In Central Ohio, there's only one place to vote early, so I'm actually voting on the day of as well. I went to the place to vote early, and the line was like 2 hours, and my precinct is really close by, and I've never had to wait more than 10 minutes. And I actually kind of like voting the day of because it's like a national holiday. My friends give me a really hard time and say I should vote early, and I understand that, and part of me wanted to do that this year, but I will be voting the day of in the morning at a precinct about 5 minutes from my house.
Wonderful. And again, this is a plug to anyone who's watching. November 3rd is the last day to vote, but not the only day to vote. If you have an opportunity, please vote early, vote. And my pitch, if I was ever on the block, would have been the same pitch I would give now, is never vote red, but that is for a different time, a different opportunity.
Unless it's the red dress.
Duly noted. Tell me, Gwen, the moment you had the most fun.
Oh gosh, the moment that I had the most fun.
I can go if you want to think.
What?
I can go if you'd like to think.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me think, because there were so many moments.
For me, it was celebrating with Smiley and with RBG and with Dan independently, like in this onion alliance that we created after we somehow got Lee out of this game, because Lee is an amazing game player that I know he formed an end game alliance without me about a day after Smiley was formed. And if we didn't get ahead of that move and start thinking ahead, then Lee was going to get me. And when that backdoor happened, and it was someone who was not in my alliance who took out probably my biggest arch nemesis in the game, and maybe yours too, Dan. That was like, gosh, that was amazing.
Excuse me, mine too. He was one to put me on the block week 1. Thank you very much.
As well, and Quinn's as well. Yes, that was so fun. Sorry, Lee.
Yeah. I would say, and I was kind of like thinking, like, is there something other than like kind of celebrating? But I would definitely say after, and I'm so sorry, Anthony, after you put up Mark on the block next to Macy, that was the biggest thrill that I had in this game. Us like realizing that we had pulled that off, and at the final 6, getting the HOH who wasn't in our 6 to put the 2 other people on the block that weren't in our 3. That was just, it was mind blowing to me that we pulled that off, and that was probably the biggest high that I had in the game, and we were just ecstatic. And I love the game. I love the thrill. I love the ups and downs, especially the ups. And that was probably my favorite. Also, some of my calls with Adam were pretty funny because we talked a lot of shit about people.
So Gwen, because you keep mentioning Adam, explain your relationship, because I feel like that keeps going back and forth. He was your ride or die, he was not your ride or die, and I'm just very curious.
I just really connected with Adam. I just did, and it was I don't know why. I guess it's just like it's a kinship. He's somebody that I think that I'm going to be very close with. Hopefully after this game, if he's not too mad at me, because I think he knew that I knew that he was going home. I just on my original bus, he was the first person that I had a phone call with, and we just clicked, and it broke my heart to have to not like once I recognized that people were putting us together. It broke my heart knowing that I would have to take him out of the game.
I think this is my last question. Generally, I mean, I got added to the jury chat, and as I predicted, it is split because you guys have not done a great job differentiating your games against each other. So my last question and my then plea for your final speeches is to figure out a way to differentiate yourselves in a meaningful way. You haven't exactly done it just yet. So my question for you, Gwen, you knew you had a decent shot. You knew I had a decent shot at winning part 3 if I got there. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you pitch me? Like, did my vote not matter to you?
I knew that you and Justin were close, and I knew that if I went to you and talked to you about it, that you guys were just going to talk about it amongst each other. And I was concerned that Justin would not take me if he knew that I was considering offering you the final 2.
Okay. And Justin, the night yesterday, I gave you an option. I said, here's my pitch, and I don't want you to respond to it if you don't want to. Like, I will give you that out, that flexibility. And I said, this is my pitch. I think it was a pretty logical pitch. You guys both heard it. But you still said, Dan, I'm going to bring you. This was my plan the entire time. Is lying something that comes naturally, or is this, how did that come about?
Okay, so I did word it. If you go back and read it, the first time I said, I have been planning on taking you. I did come back a little bit stronger and say, you are my final 2. You know it. You have been all game, because I still wasn't decided yet. But as I thought about it more after that, it just became clear to me that I needed to do this if I was going to have a realistic shot of winning. And I understood that that would maybe burn a relationship, and maybe I shouldn't have responded. But I thought I knew what I was going to do at the time, but I also didn't think ignoring it was the right play.
Justin, you aren't arguing a game of technicalities right now.
Okay.
You have given people technicalities as ways to vote them out. Mm-hmm. And I think you just need to own it. Mm-hmm. And to say, hey, I was going to send you out regardless. Like, if you just told me, like, this is the same thing that happened with Anthony. If you tell me I'm the target, that's fine. I get it. Everyone should have not taken me. I would not have expected Gwen to, would not have expected you to. But let's not lie if we don't need to. This is a game for $0. We've talked about this. Mm-hmm. And so with that, I will leave you guys to your final jury speeches. I encourage you and implore you to differentiate yourselves, show why you guys played the strongest social, strategic, and competitive games, and good luck. This has been a pleasure to play with both of you. Notorious RBG, let's go.
Thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate all the questions that you asked, very much so. But otherwise, see ya. All right, guys. This is your final plea. Keep it within like 1 to 2 minutes, but we're flexible. I'm not going anywhere. So Justin went first last time, so Gwen will go first this time. And once you're done, Justin, you can just start. I don't have to come back on and tell you.
Okay. So I think I've done a pretty good job of showing you guys how my game is worthy of your vote. I came into this game, I had a bigger uphill battle than Justin did. Yes, we worked very closely. Our games were very intertwined, but Justin's path to the end was easy. He already had connections with people coming into this game. I came into this game not knowing anybody. I came into this game with a huge target on my back that I had to constantly try and mitigate and build relationships with people. Like I said in my intro, I was the last blue bus standing, I was the last woman standing, and I was the last non-sequester person standing. And that is not chance. That is the hard work that I put into this game. I worked my tail off. I built connections with people. Those connections are genuine. I have told people that one of my favorite parts of being in this community is getting to know people. I'll say it, my best friends are org people. And I am so happy to have met new people in this game that I am going to be really close friends with after this. I only lied, like I said, when I knew that I was being lied to, or when I knew that I had to further myself in the game. For example, with you, Mark, I told you this, it's 100% true. I didn't lie to you until I told you that I would take you. In the end, that was only because there was a chance that you would win that veto. Other than that, I was truthful with you the whole time. That's the only lie that I told you the entire game. Anthony was the person I definitely lied to the most, but I also knew that he was lying to me. I hope you guys can see that my social game definitely was a lot better than Justin's. Not to throw him under the bus, Justin, you're a lovely person, and I enjoyed being social with you. My goodbye messages were genuine and strategic, but I think the fact that I was able to build those relationships with you guys and then have those genuine goodbye messages shows how my strategic and social game are very much intertwined and why you should vote for me. So again, please vote for the best woman to win this game, and I would be very happy to be representative of BBH Season 11.
All right, great. I respect Gwen a ton, and I think she would be a deserving winner. I think I'm a more deserving winner. If you're looking for differentiation, I think it's become clear throughout this jury sessioning that she is a better social player than me. I bombed goodbye messages with a lot of you. I'm going to be honest and say that was just a misread on my part. I gave the goodbye message that I would want to hear when I'm leaving, because for me, this game is mostly about strategy, and I don't think a lot of people knew the specific maneuvering that I did to put myself in the position that I did, and I wanted to make sure that I had credit for that, and I may have rubbed some people the wrong way. I know I rubbed some people the wrong way. I apologize for that. If you know me, or you will get to know me outside of this game, I'm a truly genuine person. I'm just sort of like a game bot type of guy. So Gwen was better socially. I was better strategically. I did lead the creation of Miley. Macy absolutely does deserve credit for helping create it as well. But I started with a phone call to Dan before Macy was even on the block and got the wheels turning. And I had to do a hard pitch on K-Pow to want to vote out Adam over Macy. I had to do a bit of a hard pitch on Anthony. Gwen was actually the easiest one to convince to vote out Adam because she did see the benefit to voting out Adam. That strategy to build a core alliance around a core alliance was my idea. And it set me up with two great endgame options in Anthony and K-Pow, and it set Dan up with one in Macy, and it set Gwen up with 0. And I think that if something went wrong with RBG, I was better positioned to get to the end. I will also say, Gwen says that I came in at an advantage because I knew some sequester people. Yeah, guess what? I voted out a lot of these sequester people. They probably don't trust me. A lot of the people came into this game probably wanting to get me out early, and I was able to outlast them. And also, you have the benefit of having played 25 or 30 of these games before, and you've won 3 times. This is my first time. I don't really know how the social capital in this thing works. I tried to build relationships. I tried to be genuine. Maybe I could do a better job of that. And if I play game 2, I'm going to do a better job of that. But I'll tell you what, for playing game 1 and coming in and going head to head with someone who's played 25 or 30 of these and building an alliance that she says is the best, helping build an alliance that she says is the best alliance of any game that she's ever played in, that means so much to me. I am going to walk away from this incredibly proud if I get second, but I think I deserve third because of the strategic game I played and the way I set myself up. And it's my first time, and I'm just so grateful that Gwen was able to help walk me through it and that we were able to do this together with Dan, and it means a lot to me, and I would love your vote, and that's all.
All righty, guys. You've done all you can do now. Now it is completely out of your hands. The jury is, if you're watching this jury, please submit your votes with a video to your diary room. Some of you have started that process. And in the meantime, we're going to hit the hype music, and it's going to be a countdown, but I could pop up at any time once I have all the votes. Good luck to you both. Sit tight. Macy always voted rogue. Always Macy. Every time it was Macy. Every single
calm
time.
down.
I will not.
Sir,
I refuse.
sir.
I refuse.
Sir, calm down.
No, I will not. It was always
Sir,
Macy.
calm down.
Every time there was a rogue vote this season.
Why am I
every
here?
time.
Why am I here? Why am I here?
Because you need to hear this too. That's why.
40 chess.
No, but like I said, it didn't matter.
Sir,
wrong.
sir.
Is that what you were going to tell us?
Yeah, you stole it from me, but I pretended it wasn't it. But it was. It was. But every time there was a rogue vote, Macy did it every time. Every single time, all season. Mitchell? Why'd you leave? You can. Well, fine, leave. Oh, I had to get that off my chest for a long time. So Macy always voted rogue. That always. She pinned it on Anthony beautifully, but you guys just like bought it hook, line, and sinker. It was frustrating. That was the hardest side of the game for me to watch. Watch you guys be so wrong. But we'll talk about that later. Yeah. All right, I have the votes in the basket. We're doing it Jeff Probst style because it's just the easiest way to do it. But before I read the votes, I will say thank you to all my hosts and my production team. It was a lot of fun. You guys did a great job. Thank you to the 18 people that played this game. You guys all played so hard this whole season. I was very honored to finally have a season, first time in a while, with all new players. I haven't been able to do that in a while, so it was really great. And everyone brought it. Everyone played hard. And there was not an easy elimination at any point. And so while this is a 3-week sprint in a lot of ways, it is a 3-week marathon in a lot of ways. I'm excited to reveal a winner. I don't think I have any more pleasantries after the vote is over and after we, celebrate for a second. And after we get off the stream, anyone that's watching that was in the game, we will fire up a Zoom call and let everyone laugh at everyone and have a good old time. But with that said, it is time to read the votes. Good luck to both of you.
I'm holding your hand virtually.
First vote.
I really wish this person would have owned their game and the lies that they told more in the jury questioning, because it would have made me respect their game even more. But they did still play the best game here, so I am voting for Justin to win. Congrats to you both.
Justin. Second vote goes to...
All right, laying down by the fire, it's nice, it's warm, but, whatever. So before I cast my vote, I just want to say for everyone to make sure to go out and vote next Tuesday. Mail it in if you haven't. Vote early if you need to. Go vote. Make your voice heard. This is the biggest election of all time. I know everyone says it, but it's true. As for my vote tonight, I will be voting for Justin.
Justin. Third vote goes to...
Well, if it couldn't be me, then at least it's you. My vote is for Justin.
Justin. Fourth vote goes to...
Oh my god. All right. Well, I have to vote for Justin to win. I think that it really says something, and he touched on this in his opening statement, but the fact that he was voted in control of the game and then did not ever get evicted, I don't know if he was ever really even nominated that I can remember. The fact that Gwen had a chance at Final 5 to take Justin out and squandered that opportunity, she could have taken out either Justin or Dan. Sitting in Final 3 with both of them was not the move. So even though Justin's goodbye messages are gross, I'm voting him to win.
Justin. And the rest of the votes go to...
Hey y'all, I value a story, I value a resume, and I value jury management. And after hearing the speeches tonight, I vote for Justin to win.
I am really, really in the middle. It's probably like a 51-49% thing. I think I'm gonna have to vote for Justin to win. I think the thing that pushed me over the top was him not bringing Dan to the finals. That was, in my opinion, probably his smartest move of the game.
Congratulations on both of you. I proudly and excitedly vote for Justin. Justin, I think you played a great game. Congratulations. I vote for you to win.
I am proudly voting for Justin Powell to win BBH 11.
What's up, you guys? I vote for Justin to win BBH Season 11.
The winner of Big Brother Hometown Season 11. Congratulations, Justin. You are the winner of BBH 11.
Insane. Gwen, you deserve the votes for sure. Thank you. That's incredible. I can't believe it. I didn't think that would happen ever. but I work my ass off every single day. I work my butt off every single day. This means so much to me.
Congratulations, Justin. You earned it. You played a heck of a game. Super proud of it. Gwen, you too. I mean, obviously, you guys were all in lockstep this whole time. None of you have anything to be ashamed of, especially the three of you. And
Not at all.
Dan, who should be here to celebrate it as well as a part of
guys.
the Notorious RBG. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna start slowly kicking people out. Leave Justin for last. Let him have the final word, and then I'll have the final word because this is my game. And Gwen, any last things to say?
Justin, I'm very proud of how you played, or you winning. I don't think that I deserve to not get any votes. I meant to say this in the finale, I didn't, but as a woman, if a man had played my game, I don't think I would have gotten as much. Justin, you're a very deserving winner. I don't want to take anything away from you. But
And I think that conversation was being had in a lot of ways, and Dan brought awareness to it. And for what it's worth, and a lot of people they were all telling you the truth. They were all on the fence, and they all landed one way. But you fought hard tonight, and you
did a great job tonight, Gwen. I think you made the jury's decision very difficult.
Very difficult.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I think I deserve to win. Justin, you are a very deserving winner. I think that my game. I think I played a better game. I think I don't mean to sound bitter, but I don't think I think I played a better game. And I think a lot of it is bias, and it's unfortunate. Justin, I think it could have come down to one of us. I think either of us did deserve to win. I'm very disappointed in the jury, to be perfectly honest.
No hard feelings for me. You played a hell of a game.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. And that's an important conversation to be had, and I appreciate you bringing it up because I think it is an important conversation to be had. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you very much. I am going to send you to the backstage. But thank you very much. I loved watching you play. We all loved watching you play this season. See you, Gwen. Oh, Dan kicked himself out. Justin, congratulations.
Congrats, Justin.
You did it. I am so. Tell me how you're feeling. Give me the.
I am feeling the mood. This is amazing. I'd never thought that I would be able to come in here and get to the end, let alone win unanimously. Gwen probably did deserve a few votes for sure. She played an truly amazing game. But I poured my heart and soul into this game for the past 25 days. I ended every single night in my diary room with a daily affirmation to the production chat that kind of highlighted how I was feeling for that day. And last night's was a good life is a collection of happy moments, and this is a happy moment for me. It's something I'm gonna remember forever.
Justin, that means the absolute world to me. It really does, and I've loved watching you play this game. I'll save a lot of my thoughts for off the air. But yes, super proud. You are a deserving winner, a great winner. I can't wait to go put your name on our version of the leaderboard in the viewing party. You're with great company, and you fought so hard from day one. A lot of you, especially the RBG crew, did not stop, and it was awesome to watch. So you are one of our top winners, without a doubt.
Thank you. Means a lot. You guys are amazing. You put on a great show. I know there's not a lot of money involved here. I don't think you're getting paid a whole lot, and the work that you guys put into it is so deserving. And I hope you're proud of the product that we were able to put out as a group this season.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because when you get to the viewing party, you'll be like, wait, where's the episodes after I don't know, Chandler's eviction? But we'll catch them up. I edited one today. We'll get them up. But there's a ton of content for you guys to consume as players. And we'll just sign this off here real quick. Those of you looking for season 11 or season 12 rather, that is coming in a few months, January, probably mid-January. I'm shooting for season 12. So if you want to be like Justin and win this game, play this game, if you want to be robbed at the doorstep like Dan, who I know is watching still underneath, sign up to play this game, and the conversations that Dan brought up. Absolutely, people of color, women. Those are people that this season was very white, and that was not our intention. That's not what we wanted, but it is what happened. And we roll with it, and we have a really great season still. But I believe that representation matters and diversity matters. And some of my favorite people that I've ever met in this community and in this world are of diverse backgrounds. So I'm glad that got brought to the forefront tonight, and I think that's an important conversation to be having. But yes, look for applications for season 12 coming up in the coming months. We have a lot of fun stuff planned for the off season. We're going to be doing some game nights. We're going to be doing some just some fun minis or some Jackbox nights, just off the block episodes. We'll be talking about everything and having a whole great old time. Any final words, Mitchell or Alex, before we sign us off?
Do you want to announce America's favorite player?
Yes, I do want to announce America's favorite player. Let's. I'm gonna check the votes.
The official final poll.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll vamp for you because as the reigning America's favorite player of
Yes,
season
this
10,
you wanted to have this moment, and you can. So
is it still accurate?
Yes, it is still accurate.
Okay, well, my reign has been bright and it has been brilliant. But I am happy to pass this crown to my favorite player from season 11, Anthony Ayo. Congratulations! Welcome to
Anthony.
Welcome to the America's Favorite Club. Woohoo!
Yeah, America's. Yes, Anthony, you're the favorite player. Which it was funny because in his exit interview, when he talked about the question, would you rather lose and be loved or win and be hated? And he said, "We'll get you a man that can do both." Well, you only did one, but all right, that's it for us. I sign you off for now. You'll see us at all kinds of places, and we'll see you for season 12 and all kinds of things in the off season. Good night, everybody.